Next news, breaking news.
Got some breaking news, and it's bad news for Tim Walz and Keith Ellison. Oh yes, referred to the DOJ. And now a Somali mother of 7 just got thrown in jail for stealing $800,000 from American taxpayers through a massive daycare fraud scheme. Now here's what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. It's not just one bad actor. This is the tip of a multi-billion-dollar iceberg, and it goes all the way to the governor's mansion in Minnesota. Tonight, a sitting congresswoman has just referred Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison to the Department of Justice for criminal charges. She says she has the evidence to prove they were knowingly complicit. Is this the biggest welfare fraud scandal in American history, about to bring down a Democrat governor? I certainly hope so. I'm going to tell you why this should make your blood boil, see. Every single dollar stolen in these fraud schemes came directly from your pocket. We're not talking about some abstract government money. We're talking about taxes you paid, believing they would help feed hungry children and support struggling families. Instead, billions, that's billions with a B, were funneled to fraud rings while hardworking Americans struggled to make ends meet. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler just confirmed $10 billion in COVID-era fraud in just 2 states, California and Minnesota alone. 111,000 fraudulent borrowers suspended in California, over 7,000 in Minnesota, representing $430 million. And here's what should terrify every American. The Government Accountability Office estimates $500 billion disappears from federal programs every single year into the hands of criminals. That's your Social Security getting robbed. That's your Medicare getting looted. That's your children's future being stolen while Democrat politicians look the other way, or worse, actively protected the criminals. Speaking of protecting what matters most, I need to share something very, very personal with you. For years, my wife battled chronic pain and anxiety from her diagnosis, endless doctor's visits, treatments that didn't help. Watching her struggle daily, it broke my heart. Then Jonathan Otto introduced us to red light therapy. Her pain vanished, her anxiety lifted. She's sleeping soundly, full of energy and life again. My own recovery and vitality, better than guys half my age. Truly life-changing for us. Here's what convinced me this wasn't just a gimmick. It's backed by NASA, research, and FDA cleared. Now, the studies show rapid pain relief and recovery that actually works. Oh, and there'll be an interview with Jonathan this weekend. Make sure you see it. So when you're fighting to stay healthy and strong, especially in times like these, we need every patriot at their best, and you need solutions that deliver. Red light therapy delivered for my family, and I believe it can deliver for yours as well. MyRedlight.com is in the link below. Make sure you use those promo codes for your exclusive bonuses. Now, let's get back to the bombshell story, because what's happening next is going to blow the lid off of everything, and this is what the Democrats never saw coming. See, President Trump's Justice Department, they're not just investigating, they're building an entire division dedicated to hunting down these fraudsters. Senator Chuck Grassley just announced the Senate confirmation of Colin McDonald as the new Assistant Attorney General for National Fraud Enforcement. That's a brand new division, my friends. And this prosecutor has a track record to prove that he means business. Vice President Vance, he's leading the fraud task force, going state by state. So the trap is set, and the walls are closing in on everyone who thought they could steal from the American people. Check this out from Chuck Grassley. Senate confirmation of President Trump's pick to be the new Assistant Attorney General for National Fraud Enforcement.
I want to tell you about the heavy emphasis of the Trump administration and the Department of Justice to take very seriously fraud. And when you think about fraud, think Minnesota Medicaid fraud. And I think we're getting evidence of it in several other states. That commitment is best shown by the nomination of a Colin McDonald to the new division in the Department of Justice to fight fraud. And I'm telling you that he is a very strongly committed to this, and he has a background of prosecution to prove it.
He has the background to get it done. Grassley's push for serious fraud enforcement sets the stage as we now turn to the brewing storm in Minnesota. Our Governor Walz, days in office numbered after articles of impeachment have hit the House floor. Tim Walz must be impeached and imprisoned. It's the only way Have articles of impeachment been filed? Yes, articles of impeachment have been filed against Tim Walz. In January of 26, Republican Minnesota State Representative Mike Weiner introduced and filed a House resolution in the Minnesota House of Representatives containing 4 articles of impeachment against Walz. Charges center on the allegations of corrupt conduct in office, violation of constitutional oath, primarily related to claims that he knowingly concealed or permitted widespread fraud in the state-administered programs such as the Department of Human Services, interfered with oversight and investigations, prioritized political narratives over transparency, and failed to enforce or maintain statutory anti-fraud safeguards, allowing billions in taxpayer funds to be misused amid scandals like Feeding Our Future. The accusations are piling up. Let's see what's being done on a broader scale. Kelly Loeffler on the front lines of a federal task force to dismantle the fraud operations nationwide. Listen.
Well, about $10 billion of COVID-era fraud in just 2 states. That's why we suspended 111,000 borrowers out in California, over 7,000 borrowers in Minnesota for $430 million worth of fraud. Look, taxpayers deserve to know that their tax dollars aren't being sent to Somalian fraud rings. And that's why I'm so honored to be part of Vice President Vance's fraud task force. We are not just going to discover where the fraud originates. We're going to crack down and make sure people end up in jail.
Let's go.
And that there's a deterrent finally, for committing fraud against federal government dollars that come from hardworking taxpayers. That's what this is about. It's an all-of-government approach, and that's why we're going state by state. And the president knows. He's talked about Illinois, New York, Maine, centers of fraud, and you've seen it in home health care, hospice, billions of dollars of fraud. Even the GAO said $500 billion a year comes out from federal programs into the hands of fraudsters. That has to end now.
Oh, I can't wait till they come to Illinois. Oh, Pritzker is going to freak out. Her crackdown on fraud points us to a local scandal with huge implications. A Somali mother of 7 now behind bars, implicated in a brazen daycare scam, cheating taxpayers out of $800,000. Another day, another welfare fraud bombshell, says Gunter Eagleman. Massive fraudulent daycare scam. Bye-bye. Doing the perk walk. Hope it was worth it, buddy. And they're wearing masks. Of course they are. Yep. Justice being served, but we'd rather see Walz and Ellison do the perp walk personally. From a local crime to the highest echelons of state power, accusations fly. Anna Paulina Luna claims to have evidence against Walz and Ellison, pushing for DOJ action. Listen to this.
Chair recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office for governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned CCAP fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew Feeding Our Future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human and Health Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor Walz also made that personal deal, or that he at least knew about the Attorney General's agreement?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to rehash what you guys have spent hours answering. We know that there's a big issue with the fraud in Minnesota. So on a number of things, I'd first like to point out, thank you for being here today, but because of your testimony and because of some of the evidence that we've seen brought forward, as well as I'm sure the fact that this committee, I assume, at Chairman Comer's direction, will be soon subpoenaing AG Ellison, I would like to make criminal referrals regarding Governor Walz as well as AG Ellison. As you know, U.S. Code 371 and U.S. Code 2, which deals with criminalized conspiracies to defraud the United States and establishes liability for individuals who knowingly aid or abet the commission of federal offense, includes willful blindness or deliberate inaction where duties to act exists. So I will be referring them later on today.
Yeah, let's frickin' go. Let's frickin' go. Now, here is the moment of truth. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna just dropped the hammer. She looked in the camera and said she has enough evidence to believe both Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison were knowingly complicit in the Somali fraud scheme. And she's referring both of them to the Department of Justice for criminal charges. Listen to what emerged in that testimony. Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support on tape. And witnesses testified that Governor Walz has known about this fraud since he ran for office in 2018. State investigators warned in 2017 the fraud could exceed 50%. They knew. They all knew. And they did nothing because they were protecting their political allies. Oh, may justice be swift indeed. See, Patriots, what we're witnessing right now is the Trump administration doing exactly what they promised, draining the swamp and holding criminals accountable, no matter how powerful they think they are. Articles of impeachment have already been filed against Tim Walz in Minnesota. Criminal referrals are heading to the DOJ. A brand new fraud enforcement division is hunting down every last stolen dollar. This is what America First looks like in action. So I need you to share this video right now because the mainstream media, they're going to bury the story. They don't want Americans to know that their Democrat heroes enabled the largest welfare fraud in history. And then I want you to text raw feed to 844-840-4963. The algorithms will bury this video. The notifications will never arrive. But my message to you, directly to your cell phone, will never be broken. That is my direct line to you. Nothing's going to get in the way of me delivering the truth to you, but you need to ask for it. I know you want it. You made it this far in the video. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963 and drop a comment below. Tell me, do you think Tim Walz should face criminal prosecution? Yes or no? And while you're fired up about supporting America First, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and show the world where you stand. And if you haven't done so, become a subscriber to the channel. Hit the notification bell and remember, stay informed, stay free. I'm Gary Franchi for the Next News Network.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.